Hey guys, welcome back to Heart Breathings. I know many of you are excited about this video because, like me, you have a huge notebook collection and you are looking for ways and ideas to fill up those notebooks. Now, I mentioned in my last video where I showed you my huge notebook collection that I would be having a video for you today that is 30-ish ideas for how you can fill up a notebook, and also announcing my 2019 notebook challenge, where I will be challenging myself and any of you who want to join me with filling up an entire notebook every single month of the year. And also I will be giving away one notebook every single month, at least one. And I'm going to start that today with two notebooks that I'm giving away. I'm going to be giving away this Moleskine notebook that's a pink kind of composition size Moleskine notebook, and also this essential journal from Punctuate, which is by Barnes & Noble. If you're interested in seeing the insides of these, you can go back and watch my notebook haul video, or like my notebook collection video. Otherwise, stay tuned because we're going to talk about all the great ways to fill this up, and I'll be giving you details on how to win those notebooks. Okay guys, so this is gonna be really fun. I just made a huge list of different ways to use notebooks. So I'm just gonna kind of go through them and just briefly explain what each of them are. So here are some ways that you can use your notebooks. Number one, use it as a plotting or brainstorming notebook. This is one of the things that I do most often with my notebooks. Is I will dedicate a full notebook to a story that I'm writing or a series that I'm writing, and I will just jot down pretty much any idea. So if you're a writer like me, this is a great way to just brainstorm your books. If you're not a writer and you're watching this, this is probably one of the only ones that won't apply to you, but you can use it to brainstorm anything. Brainstorm projects that you're working on, brainstorm series, characters. You can do it for have one notebook per plot idea, or you can have a bunch of different ideas that you're thinking of exploring and put them all into one notebook. Number two, morning pages. I talked about this in my notebook collection video, but if you're not familiar with morning pages, Julia Cameron wrote a book called The Artist's Way that I highly recommend you check out if you are an artist or a creative entrepreneur of some kind, where she discusses the practice of getting up every morning and writing morning pages. And this is basically just a practice of sitting down for like 15 full minutes and just letting stream of consciousness come out. You can write creatively, you can write about what happened with your mother yesterday, you can write about your hopes and dreams, whatever it is that naturally comes out, but it's kind of just this brain dump that you do first thing in the morning, which allows yourself to get these other things out, start creatively first thing in the morning, and be ready to be actually creating something new when you get done with them. Another idea is a gratitude list. So it is so common these days for us to get pulled into this rat race of, we've got to do more, we got to hustle, we got to work harder, and we can get pulled into, as authors and entrepreneurs, sales numbers and how's money going and all of this kind of stuff. But really everybody on this planet has things that are going wrong, and we can get sometimes, like I found when I was journaling a lot, I was journaling about all the things that were going wrong, and I just found myself getting sort of mired in negativity. So what I started doing instead was keeping a gratitude journal, which is just basically every single night sitting down and making a list of all the things I'm grateful for. I'm so grateful for my husband. I'm so grateful for my sweet son that it took us years to get into our lives. And, just those kind of things that are more meaningful and truly deep-hearted. And then there's some days where it's some days you just have to write down the simplest of things. I'm so grateful that it wasn't raining today, whatever it is. But having a notebook full of your gratitude and not allowing yourself to be negative at all, sometimes when you feel down, going back and flipping through that gratitude journal can help to lift your spirits. Plus, just focusing on the things that you're grateful for and that you're happier for, I think makes for a more enjoyable life. Number four, a sticker journal. So I will refer to Modest Cat's YouTube video or YouTube channel on making a sticker journal. And I thought this was such a great idea because a lot of us planneristas and planner babes have a lot of stickers sitting around the house that we love, but we just don't use that many stickers in a day. So she had this idea of basically taking a notebook and making it kind of like a memory journal where you would just say kind of what happened today, but making it a challenge to fill up your notebook with your stickers that you just haven't had a chance to use, stuff you've been holding on to, where it's like you've got sticker sheets, you used most of them, but you haven't used them all. This is a way to get rid of all those extra stickers. So I'm going to link down below to a video from the Modest Cat where she talks about her sticker journal. So idea number 5 is to create a manifesting journal. And I'm going to have a few ideas that are similar to this, but basically I have a manifesting journal, and this is basically full of what I call scripting. If you're not familiar with this, I will also link down below to another YouTuber that I follow that she talks about how to script. So if you're not familiar with that, you can check out her channel because she explains it a lot better than I do. But it's basically the process of writing things out as if they were here and now, as if this was the way your life was now, but including things that you hope for in the future. So like instead of saying what your current circumstances are, you would say, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about the $10,000 that got deposited into my account today. That's going to really help me to pay off these bills. And I can't wait to, go on that trip to Japan that I was so looking forward to. Or you could even say, like, if you were hoping to manifest a ticket to a concert that you wanted to go see, you could include that in your scripting and say, oh my gosh, I am sitting here right now at this concert that I really wanted to go to. The music is loud, the lights are really great, the band is completely on point tonight. I'm wearing my favorite leather jacket and the crowd is just so full of energy and it's so much fun to be here. And part of it is, I know it can sound ridiculous to people that don't really believe in manifesting or the law of attraction, but what it does is it gets your vibration up and it gets you thinking about actually experiencing that thing. And there are a lot of people out there, including me, that believe that when you start to get yourself in that mindset where you believe it's possible and you can see yourself in that situation, you begin to attract opportunities into your life. So if you're into that kind of thing, think about a manifestation journal where you write out all the things you hope to achieve and even write letters to yourself as if it is currently happening and see what happens in your own life. Idea number 6 is a book review log. So many of you I know are also not only writers, but you're also readers. So if you have some books that you read, like a lot of books, some of us just keep this stuff on Goodreads. But as an author, I don't like to put my true thoughts about other people's books, sometimes especially if I didn't enjoy them, onto Goodreads where other people can publicly read them, because I don't want to be the person criticizing another author, because we are kind of all in this together. And so I only want to lift other authors up. If you want to keep your notes private and keep them all in one place, you could keep a list of all the books. You could even print out a photo of the cover and tape it into your journal and leave your own rating system and your own notes about that book in your book review notebook. Number 7, research notes. So this is pretty easy, but if you're researching a certain kind of marketing technique like Facebook ads, or you're researching a certain murder that happened that you're going to pull into your novel, or something else, any kind of research that you're doing, you can keep notes of your research in your notebook. Idea number 8 is to keep track of all your favorite quotes. You could hand letter them, you could write them, keep one quote to a page, or you could even tab out your notebook and say, these are my favorite quotes about time management. These are my favorite quotes about being a writer. These are my favorite quotes about family. These are my favorite quotes about love. And you could put tabs on your notebook to keep track of where each of those quotes are and then just write them in your notebook. So number 9 is a family memories notebook. I am currently using an ERIN CONDREN planner for this. It's like a family memories keeper where I write out what maybe funny things my son says, or family jokes, or different things like that we're doing as a group. Also, my husband and I play World of Warcraft, so I keep memories of, quests and dungeons that we did together, or levels we got, or people we played with. So if you want to keep some kind of family memories or gaming memories or anything like that, then that's another good idea. So idea number 10 is a recipes planner or a recipe notebook. So I know that my mom always used to have a card keeper, keeping her recipes in cards and stuff, but I always hate to kind of handwrite that stuff. So what I started doing was, whenever I would find a recipe that I really enjoyed, I would just just print it out and paste it into a notebook, and I just kept that notebook, separate. I also have used binders for this in the past, so it's just kind of whatever you want, but you could use like your favorite recipes, or like I'm doing bright line eating, which means that I eat no sugar and no flour, and I eat a lot of vegetables every day. So I took one notebook and I made a list of like all the combinations of vegetables that I like, all the different fruits that I like, so that when I'm going to do my meal planning every week, I have a notebook full of ideas for meals and different things that fall into my food plan. Number 11 is lists. Now this is probably one of the ways that you're already using notebooks, but it's kind of just an easy way to use up your notebooks, making lists of movies you want to watch, games you want to play, places you want to go, just tons of things that you maybe want to do or experience in your life. You could also use up an entire notebook with your grocery lists or your to-do lists. Number 12 is meeting notes. So this year, I talked about this a little bit in my notebook and my planner one, but this year I used this Kate Spade notebook for my meetings for a group I'm in called Freshly Implemented with Amber McHugh. So I kept it here on my desk, and then every single time we would have a meeting or anything like that, I would grab my washi tape, take notes, and all of my notes when it comes to those meetings, speed masterminds, and everything having to do with Freshly Implemented went into here. So if you have meetings on a regular basis, even if it's like meetings with friends where you talk through plot or different things like that, or you're working on a collaborative project, it's great to have a notebook dedicated to that, so you don't end up with like notes on this random piece of paper and notes on a different random piece of paper all over the house. You have them all in one place. Idea number 13 is marketing plans or ideas for your series. Again, this is another one that's specifically for authors, but could go for anyone who is a creative entrepreneur. So if you have an Etsy shop or anything like that, just any kind of marketing plans that you may have in the future, like, oh, I think I'm going to put together these 5 books and put them into a box set, and I need to get a cover for this, and maybe in the future I could do a spin-off on this other thing. So you're keeping all of your marketing ideas all in one place. Number 14, on a similar vein, social media plans and ideas. So if you have an Instagram account or a YouTube channel, you could dedicate an entire notebook to lists of ideas for your YouTube channel, or people you want to do collaborations with. Or if you have an Instagram, you could make lists of types of photos that you like, or accounts that you like, your favorite hashtags and things like that. So you could keep your social media plans all in one place. Number 15 is blog post ideas. So this kind of goes hand in hand with the YouTube ideas notebook, that if you have a blog, especially if you're blogging for your readers and you're an author, but anyone who has a blog, you could keep your blog post ideas, different keywords, any kind of research that you're doing on how to set up your website or what colors you use. Like I have sticky notes here that have my little color code for my blog branding. So you could keep all of your favorite color, like what do they call those, like RGB numbers? I forget. But you could keep track of all of that and log it into a notebook. So when I was putting together my branding for Heart Breathings and all of my website stuff and trying to get the pages separate and figure out what like categories I wanted to use, I had an entire notebook dedicated to putting my website together. So it's just another example. Number 16 is a fitness log. This kind of speaks for itself, but if you really wanted to like start yoga, or you really wanted to, be walking so many miles a day, you could keep kind of a fitness log or a fitness journal where you set down every day and you say, here's what I got done, here's how it felt to do it, track your mood, see if you're getting better, see if you're being more consistent. So there's another idea. Number 17 is a gaming log. So I talked about this a little bit earlier about like your gaming memories, but you could also keep a gaming log, not just for, if you're playing World of Warcraft, but if you're like me and you play games across multiple platforms, like you play games on your phone, but you also play games on a console like a PS4, and you play PC games. Like I made a list last year and I had over 50 games on Steam and PS4 that I have purchased and have not finished playing all the way through due to not having enough time. I started to create a gaming log where I would log what I was playing and whether I made it all the way through and if I enjoyed the game, etc. So there's another idea for you. Number 18 is like reviews and thoughts on movies and shows, and you could also track. So if, like, for example, if you wanted to start watching a long show like Supernatural, which has like a jillion seasons, you could have, you know, a section of your notebook that's for season 1, and you can track which episodes and mark them off once you've watched them, or cover them with a sticker once you've watched each episode of the season. And you could leave notes to kind of remind yourself, like, who was the big bad in this one, what was the relationship between the brothers. So you could track series, And you could also track like movies that you watched and whether you enjoyed them. So number 19 is a budget book for yourself and your family. So you could write down every expense. You could have a main budget on your first part of your page where you know exactly what's supposed to be going in and out. And then you could have a page or a 2-page spread for every single week where you said, here's what we spent on groceries, and you detailed all of that out to see if you're still on track for meeting your budget for this year, and it could help you maybe save more money. Number 20 is a wish list. So this is kind of a fun one. Like if you have things that you know you want to buy in the future, but you only have, you know, we just did the budget, so maybe you only have a budget of $50 a month that you can spend on those kinds of things, and you want to start saving, or you want to make a wish list of all the cool things you've watched in YouTube videos or you've seen other people have, and you think, oh, I want a pack of those Sharpie pens. You could print out a picture of them, or you could draw a picture of them, or you could just write them into your wish list notebook, and you could keep a wish list and then mark things off once you achieve them. But sometimes I find like writing it down helps, because you may end up 6 months from now with like a gift card somewhere and think, oh, what was that thing I really, really wanted? And now you can't remember. So wish lists are kind of cool to fill up, especially like little small notebooks. Number 21 is a home improvement wish list and project tracker. When we moved into our last house, I had a project list of things that I wanted to do, like painting this, or, setting up a little sitting space over here, or putting together an office in this closet, or reorganizing the bookshelves. So I had all these little projects. So it's kind of fun to put together a notebook where you can dedicate a few pages to all the little tasks that need to get done for a certain home improvement project. Or really, you could use that for any type of project in your life. Like if you had something that you do, like you wanted to knit a bunch of things for Christmas, or you wanted to hand make a bunch of crafts, you could use it in the same way, where you make lists of everything, like all the supplies you need to make, or all the projects that you need to research or buy or whatever. So just kind of a project tracker, but it works particularly well for home improvement stuff. All right, idea number 22. I don't find this to be as useful because I like to keep this on digital, but some of you may find it useful, and it was just an idea that popped into my head. Was you can use a notebook for an address book to keep track of all of your addresses. Of course, it would be nice to have like an official address book that already had some things written in, but if you're just looking for ways to fill up your notebooks, you might want to keep track of all your addresses, when you sent birthday cards, that sort of thing, who you're sending Christmas cards to, and everything else. So having that all on paper might be something that you really enjoy. Number 23 is to keep vision boards. So I am huge on keeping vision boards, that I even put one inside my HB90 planner, because I like to redo my vision board every quarter with pictures of the things I'm trying to achieve in my life, because visualization is a big part of success for me. So having a vision board as a notebook, this goes back kind of similar to, like I said, the manifestation journal, but you could keep a notebook that was full of images of all the things you want to achieve in your life. And what you could do is you could put it all on one big page, or you could put like each individual thing. Like let's say you really want to be a USA Today bestseller, you could put, print out a copy of the newspaper heading, put it at the top of one page, and then write down why you want to achieve that goal, if you have a deadline for when you want to achieve it, and so on. And then the next page could be, your next big goal, which is to complete a series similar to Twilight, or, whatever. So you've got all these different things. Or like someday I want to have a movie deal. So you put a bunch of pictures of other movies that were made from books that you loved, and write out how it would feel to achieve that someday. So it could be like an entire notebook for you that is a vision board. Idea number 24 is hand lettering practice. Raise your hand if you are out there and you are jealous of all these people who can do amazing hand lettering with their like dual brush pens and just any kind of brush pens. I am so jealous, and I would really, really love to have beautiful handwriting and hand lettering so that I could do more with like my bullet journal, or with my planner in general, or even just my notes. I am trying in 2019 to get better. I have done some practicing, but I am not really great at hand lettering. So you could dedicate an entire notebook to practicing hand lettering, and you could just practice the basics and over and over and over again, or you could practice different quotes or different phrases and different embellishments and stuff like that, and you could fill up an entire notebook pretty easily with that. Along those same lines, number 25 is doodling practice. So I am also not a great artist or a great person who draws, but I really want to get better at sort of like doodling things into my planner. Anything you want to get better at, it is good to practice. So you could fill an entire notebook with your doodles and your practices, like you're just going over them over and over and over again until you get better. And then you also have a record all in one notebook of how much better you got from the beginning of starting to try to the end. Number 26 is course notes. So if you're like me, you're a course junkie, you like to take different kinds of courses. I've taken courses on, how to do bright line eating. I took a boot camp on that, all the way over to, I'm taking a course now called the Blog to Biz Hive, and everything in between. So if you are into courses, then you could create a course notebook where you keep all of your notes that you take while you're taking the course. Idea number 27 is, in a similar vein, your book notes. And this is not the same thing as book reviews, but what I'm talking about here is, like, I am constantly reading new books on craft. So I'm always reading books on how to be a better writer, like how to write a really good mystery, how to plot my books better, how to have better character arcs, how to write better setting or better dialogue. So I'm always looking for new books, and I try to read at least 4 or 5 new craft books or marketing books that have to do with my business as a writer every single year. So when I'm reading, like on my phone, I will often highlight the phrases that I like, but I am much less likely to go back into an ebook, like an old ebook, and look up the highlights than I am to go into a notebook that's sitting on my desk and look up the highlights. So sometimes what I will do when I'm reading those craft books is I will take notes. So if you're doing anything that's like nonfiction, you're trying to improve yourself in some way or improve your knowledge in some way, you can dedicate an entire notebook to all the different books that you've been reading on this sort of thing. So that's idea number 27. Number 28 is a dream log. So I don't know about you, but I have vivid dreams, and I have always wanted to remember my dreams. And I remember Alex Sokoloff, who is a fellow writer and screenwriter, said that if you train yourself, that you can train yourself to remember your dreams. If you get up every morning and write down what you remembered, it will flip something in your brain that says, remember your dreams, remember your dreams. And I always thought this was a cool idea. So you could keep a small notebook by your bed, and then every morning when you get up, you could record your dreams, like a dream log, and train yourself over time to really in detail remember what you dreamed. Number 29 is a health or mood log, which is different from the fitness log, but kind of similar. So if you are battling depression, or you've been trying to like raise your mood, raise your vibration, raise the way that you feel on a daily, weekly, monthly, like lifetime basis, you just want to feel better or be more mindful, then you could keep a health journal that's just very simple, that you say like every single day, this is how I was feeling. Maybe you could have a little like color code of, you say, this is kind of was my mood today, was like gray because I wasn't feeling very good, or it was like bright yellow because I was super happy all day. And you could come up with your own color code. I know a lot of people do sort of like a mood tracker in the bullet journal, so you could dedicate an entire notebook to this if you were really trying to work on this in your life. Number 30, you could keep a daily writing prompt notebook. So you could actually write in your notebooks, like write your fiction in your notebooks. And I actually know several authors who don't type out their novels, they handwrite their entire novels. I don't know how they do it without getting major hand cramps, but for them, there's just something about putting that pen to paper that feels really good. So if you wanted to hone your skill as a writer or just as a creative, you could pick a daily writing prompt from a website or from somewhere online, or just make one up and write one at the top of the page for every single day. And you could just write that out. So any kind of daily writing prompts to get your creative juices flowing, so to speak. 2 left. So number 31 is a donation log. So we donate, especially because we moved in the last couple of years, we donated truckloads full of stuff, like our Christmas tree, lots of boots. I also lost 50 pounds last year, so I donated bags and bags of clothes. So when you are donating stuff, a lot of times, if you don't know this, especially if you're an entrepreneur and you're like self-employed person, a lot of times when you claim donations and stuff like that, if you get audited, they want to see more than just that donation slip. They want a detailed list of what you donated. So like they want to see a list that says I donated 5 shirts, 2 jackets, 10 notebooks, a computer, mouse, and keyboard, etc. And so you could keep a donation log, and this might last you several years depending on how often you take things to donate, but then you would always have those records there in case you got audited or in case you needed a record of the things that you donated and how much they were worth. Idea number 32 is an idea parking lot. So I mentioned that I'm in this freshly implemented group with Amber McHugh. She is amazing. If you're not familiar with her, I'm going to include a link down below to her yearly planathon, which is a big thing where everybody gets ready for 2019 or whatever the next year is. And I've participated in this for a couple of years. There's a lot of great stuff. And if you haven't done this, it's a free Facebook group with tons of great videos and stuff. So I believe all the videos are still available, even though the planathon took place like a couple months ago. So I'm going to link that down below in case you want to check it out. But Amber McHugh is like, I super love her. She's helped me a lot in my own business. And she has this saying about the $1 million parking lot, or your idea parking lot, which is, you know, you can't work on it right now, but it's something that you want to potentially remember that you might want to do later. So it's like, maybe you can't create a mastermind now or a huge Facebook group of people that sprint together every, 30 minutes or whatever, but you want to do it someday. So you put it into your idea parking lot. So you could dedicate an entire notebook to ideas that you would like to pursue in the future. Okay, guys, that is 32 ideas for you on how to fill up your notebooks. And of course, there's just the basic one of you can use your notebook to journal your thoughts and feelings every single day, just like a diary. So I guess that's the 33rd, but that's probably the most common way that I use it. I hope that you have enjoyed these tips. If you did, please comment below and let me know not only which one of these tips you're thinking about trying that you hadn't thought of before, but also if you have any other ideas of how to use journals or how you've used your notebooks up in the past that I did not mention. So please keep the love going, keep the ideas going down below, because I saw a lot of comments on that video the other day about all my notebooks that I've been hoarding from a lot of you that said you also have a ton of notebooks that you have not used up. So let's get all those ideas flowing. Now, moving on to my notebook challenge and giveaway. Here are the details. In 2019, starting right there on January 1st, I'm going to select one notebook from my collection that I will be completely filling up over the course of that month. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do to fill it up. I may change it up and say this month I'm going to use it as a book log or my notes on research, and then next month I'm going to use one that's just journaling or a manifestation journal. So I might switch it up every single month, and I'll let you know, but I'm going to be doing a video every month to let you know not only which notebook I'm using, but also which notebook I am giving away, and I will give you a chance to win one of my notebooks that has just been sitting around for too long and just needs a home to be loved and used. And then at the end of every month, I will be choosing next month's notebook and theme, and I'll also be kind of giving you guys a flip through or a rundown of whether I was successful filling up that notebook or not. I will post the first notebook challenge video sometime either at the very end of this year, like around New Year's Eve, or at the very beginning of January, just depending on when I have time to get it started with the notebook giveaway and how I'm going to be using my first notebook of the year. So if you would like to join me on this challenge, go ahead and pick out which one of your notebooks you would like to fill up. And the purpose of this is to use up the notebooks that we have, not to give you an excuse to go and buy brand new notebooks. However, if you don't have any notebooks at your home, maybe you can either win one from me or go and treat yourself to a notebook so that you can join in this challenge of filling up a notebook every single month. And if you know, gosh, you're just not going to be able to fill up a notebook, like especially the longer ones, like a 200-page journal, you know you're not going to have time to fill it up, then you can alter the challenge for yourself and say, I'm going to dedicate myself to filling up at least 2 notebooks next year, or at least 3 notebooks next year, or 1 notebook every 3 months. But make up the rules for yourself. You can join the challenge either way, and we'll keep up with each other along the year throughout 2019. I'm kind of excited about it because I have all these beautiful notebooks I haven't been able to use, and I'm going to finally be using them. So if you're joining me, let me know in the comments below. And if you are subscribed to my channel and you comment down below, you will automatically be entered to win one of these 2 notebooks. I'm going to be doing 2 separate notebook giveaways. And so we've got the Moleskine and we've got this Punctuate journal from Barnes & Noble. So I'll be giving both of these away. This contest will be open until December 26th, at which point I will close the contest and I will contact you or comment on your comment below, and I will also put the winners in the description box of this video. So if you don't hear from me or you don't get a notification from YouTube that your comment was replied to, then you can come back after the 26th and see if your name is listed there. And if your name is listed or I replied to you, you can just email me at Sarra, S-A-R-R-A, @heartbreathings.com and send me your address, and I will get this shipped out to you as soon as I can. This contest is open internationally. I can't promise that every single one next year will be open internationally because it costs more than probably the notebooks are worth to send them overseas, but I don't want to leave out my international followers either. So this particular one will be open to international as well as here in the US. So enter away by just commenting and making sure that you're subscribed to my channel, and I will pick the winners on December 26th by the end of the day and post them at the top of this video. All right, guys, that is it for today. I will be back in a few days with a video on why I write in Google Docs, and then I probably will be taking a little bit of a break until the beginning of the year as I celebrate the holidays with my family. But thank you so much for all your support. Thank you for joining me here on Heart Breathings. Like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you'll be notified when new videos come up from me, and I will see you soon. Bye.